and welcome to another popper and stickbait video. Well, today is another destination video as I've just come back from Oman. So we were out there on a mainly PE 2 to 4 trip. So it's going to be light tackle, catching lots of reef beasties, catching lots of fish all day long, great fun. At the end of the day, getting back, arms sore from catching so many fish. That was the plan. So we were fishing with No Boundaries, as everyone has heard of No Boundaries, Land of the Giants. And we were fishing at their lodge, you've got to bear in mind my pronunciation, at Ash Shuwaymiyyah. I think that's how you pronounce it. I've done my best. So I'm going to break this down into the good, the bad, well, the good, the mediocre, the bad, and then the extremely bad. You'll see what I mean. So the good, let's start off positively. As usual, I booked this trip through Spoilt For Choice in the UK. Great service, great everything with there. They're up to their usual high standards. That's why I use them. You have to excuse me using a crib sheet because I'm old enough to forget things. As I said, we fished with No Boundaries. They were extremely professional, tight, and a really good operation. These guys knew what they did. We're two great guides. The majority of the time we had a lad called Zane from Australia, and then on our last day we had a guy called Daz, he was from New Zealand. Both of these guys, they worked their socks off for us, and they did everything they possibly could to get us on the fish. So we were fishing on their boats, so they were typically 35 foot long, twin 300s on the back, centre consoles. Nice, fast, clean, modern boats. Did the job perfectly well, obviously with all the safety equipment, etc. With one exception. In Oman, you're not allowed to have a VHF radio for terrorist reasons, I think. But that surprised me, and it surprised the skippers when they sort of first took on their jobs. We'll put in now some pictures of the boats and us zooming along.
Come on, fish, we're coming to get you.
Yeah, nothing was too much effort. As I said, they really worked hard for us. The accommodation was basic, though very good. We'll put a video in now so you can see what it's like there. So this is our house where we're staying. Let me take you in. You're not allowed to wear shoes inside at all. So take shoes off. The lights probably aren't on. But as you can see, so this is our lounge. We've got a small fridge and water, a rod rack, well, 2 rod racks. Show you the bathroom first. English toilet, yay! Rather than a squat and shit. Shower, sink, stuff, you know, it is what it is. The other room's exactly the same. This does need some light, it takes a while for it to come on. Air conditioned, thank God. Excuse the tip, because I've just emptied everything and just gone for it. So 2 beds, obviously that's my one, that's not my one. Perfectly adequate, comfortable, clean, everything you'd want. So that's our little house. So when we then come out of our house, there's various bones scattered about. Fuck knows what that's for. This is the rigging station where we put everything together, where we drink the rum. And this wall of lures here, every single lure there has caught GT over 50 kilos. Fucking hell. Then over here is where we eat. And finally, out the front door is where the boat's kept, and trailers, etc. Good, tidy, professional operation, really impressive. And also there was a wall of lures. I've got one of those, but this one's slightly different. We put a picture in now So all those lures there, each one of those lures has caught a 50 kilo plus GT. Bloody hell. That's why they're called Land of the Giants. Some big fish there. There were two people that basically stayed at the lodge while we were off fishing. There was the mechanic, and whose name was MK, and then Mahmood, who is the manager there. He's also the chef. Really nice to get back from a day's fishing, and we would have freshly made samosas and mango lassis. So really, really nice, and just what you want after a day's fishing. Still on the lines of good, the cabin crew on Oman Air on the way back to the UK were really, really good. I've almost not had better cabin crew on that, but more on Oman Air later on. Okay, so the Mediocre, from its reputation of this place had, I was fairly certain I was going to rebook this trip virtually before I'd even come back. However, that's why this bit's called the mediocre bit. The fishing was very, very hard. There were some days the four of us only caught one fish each, and even then that was possibly a bonito or a little tunny, something like that. You know, they weren't particularly big fish. Over the week we managed 12 to 15 different species. So we had a few, not lots. We had the biggest GT we had was only 10 kilos, so compared to that lure wall I just mentioned, a baby. And we had a queenfish. Well, one of the guys, Tom, had a queenfish that was approximately 50 pounds. So yeah, really, really nice fish. The fishing wasn't actually helped by the lack of wind. You'll see a picture of us zooming along in the boats, or pictures now of just the sea conditions. Generally, the sea was very, very flat. The guides weren't too impressed with that. They wanted a bit more chop on the water. One of the other problems we did have was the water temperature. The water temperature was 29 degrees Celsius. I've had baths colder than that. No wonder the fish didn't particularly want to feed. The mothership, so Notice Temperance, that yet again you would have probably seen on YouTube and Facebook and so on. They had a group of people on there running 3 boats, and they struggled as well. So as I said, we were struggling at times to catch fish. The islands that I think are called the Hallaniyat Islands, which is where we fished. We also fished inshore on some of the reefs there. And there were times when it was just shut. There was no fish feeding at all. So we'd be hunting for bait balls. So when we're hunting for bait balls, as I said, we had a queenfish from one of them, which was fantastic. A downside was there are a lot of, I won't use the word that they use to actually call them this, but we just call them their real name, called a wolf herring. Now, if I just show you this, so this was brand new when I took it out there, and that's what wolf herring have done to a Yozuri Magdata. As you'll see by the picture, they've got some serious teeth, and the problem was these wolf herring were actually feeding on the bait balls as well, and we would chuck a lure out, and it wouldn't get a chance to do anything else. The wolf herrings would just attack it immediately, and the only option then is just move on to another bait ball. As I said, we struggled. Okay, so the bad. It's not nice to say there's bad things about a fishing holiday, considering how much they cost, but that's life, unfortunately. There were lots, and I mean lots, of mosquitoes. In the space of a week, I used 2 cans of mosquito kill it in my bedroom. There weren't any mosquito nets, and I counted one day, I had 10 bites just on my hand alone. So it wasn't good. There were also lots of flies as well. So if you are going, potentially take a mosquito net. That will certainly help you. The other problem we had, going on the bad side of things, bear in mind, it's People out there are making their living by the sea, and the downside was the commercial fishing. We could fish some reefs and some points along the shore. By every single point there'd be a line of net floats going along. When we would come back in at the end of our day's fishing, there would be a boat going out that's literally full of nets. And we did blame that on some of our poor fishing results, because the fish are being netted and they will literally take anything they can do. So yeah, nets and more nets. The extremely bad. Right, well, this bit is only about Oman Air. Where do we start? Right, well, first of all, their app and their website was simply terrible, and quite often wouldn't work. We had tried to ring them with no success. We tried to email them with no success. They might answer you in about 2 or 3 weeks' time, but terrible. At Muscat Airport, the 4 of us, we couldn't find an Oman Air desk. There wasn't one there. And Oman Air are Oman's international main airline. So that was really bad. It would have been nice to have been able to speak to someone there. We did have problems, depending as to when this video comes out and how long ago it was. Heathrow Airport had a power generator failure and all the flights were cancelled one day. We couldn't speak to anyone, hence that problem. Possibly the worst bit though. I took a rod tube, 2 of us took rod tubes. This cost me £200 to take it out there, which is extortionate. Bear in mind, British Airways charged me £140 to take a rod tube to the Maldives return. So they wanted £200 just to take it there. So when we came to check-in, which we tried to do online as they told us via emails, and we couldn't do it, we only had one option, and that was to check in at Salalah Airport. We then caught a transfer plane from Salalah to Muscat, then Muscat back to Heathrow. We tried to book in then, and we were told, let's try and see if we can say, well, no, it's £200 return, which I was told no. And then they told me how much they wanted to charge me to take my rod tube home. They wanted £400 to take it home. Shame on you, Oman Air. That's disgusting. You put us in a situation we had no option. You ripped us off. Yeah. Worst airline from that point of view I've ever flown with. I'll never fly with them again. So the conclusion. First of all, let's talk about duty free. It's a Muslim country, so therefore you can't buy alcohol over there. That's not a problem. That's just how it is. If you want to be able to buy it out there, don't go to Oman. You can't get beer out there, full stop. You cannot get beer. You can, however, take duty free spirits and wines. We bought them from Heathrow, where they sealed them in a bag, and they had to stay sealed in the bag till we actually reached our destination. Then we could drink them. The limit per person is huge. You can take 4 bottles of spirits if you want, so you know that's easy. But buy it at Heathrow. Don't open it to actually get to your destination. So would I come fishing here again? Unfortunately, the simple answer is a resounding no. So why? Well, I'll put a caveat into that. Why would I potentially not? If I was flying with Oman Air, no, I'm never going to fly on them again, which potentially will mean I will not go back to Oman. If there is another courier airline available, then I would consider it, because it does have a really, really good reputation. But yeah, as I said, their service, their prices, their app, their website was not good. And finally, additionally, why wouldn't I go back there? Well, I hate to say it, the fishing wasn't as good as we expected. We weren't there in the height of their summer, so the water temperature is only going to get warmer. And yes, it was a shame. But you know, it does have a serious reputation. It's called Land of the Giants for a reason, and people do catch some amazing fish there. So if you have enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate to give me a thumbs up. If you've got any questions, please do ask them below, and I'll do my best to answer them as soon as I can. And please do subscribe to the channel. Many thanks now. Bye bye.